Brown bag speech take 38, okay?
I'm done.
Today we will be talking about the Jeep Wrangler, what it's like to own one and its influence on American society. Now, my name is Logan White, and this right here is my green Jeep Wrangler. Now, the Jeep Wrangler is a very special model of car because pretty much it's one of the few cars that increases in value yearly. When I bought my Jeep Wrangler, I bought it for $4,500, and now it is worth $7,000, just because of how much it increases yearly. This year, it was voted Kelley Blue Book's #1 car in increasing value yearly. Now that's a big number considering that this last year they made this model of car was 2006, and the one that I have is from 1997. So my 1997 car has gone up in value more than anything you could buy in the last 20 years. Now, one thing you might notice about this Jeep is it's kind of shaped like a brick, meaning you only get 5 to 10 miles per gallon. But that doesn't really matter because you can take off the doors, you can even fold down the windshield. Anything you want to do to this Jeep, you can pretty much do it. One of the best things about owning a Jeep is the aftermarket community. There are thousands of parts that you can get for this Jeep, from bumpers to winches to even new front ends you can get for this Jeep. Like you can get a CJ front end, which is the 60s model of Jeep, and put it on your TJ if you really wanted to. There's literally anything you can do to this. You can make it so that it can climb vertically up rocks if you really wanted to, or just make it to where it has no electronics in it and you could absolutely bog it. You can diesel swap it, you can do anything you wanted to. It is one of the easiest cars to work on just because of the model and how Jeep designed this car. Now this model right here is the 4-cylinder, which surprisingly, one thing that most people misunderstand about Jeeps is they think the 4-cylinder gets better gas mileage than the 6-cylinder. But however, that is untrue because the 4-cylinder model of the Jeep actually gets worse gas mileage because the motor has to work 3 to 4 times as hard as that 6-cylinder to push this brick through the air down the highway. Now, one of the best parts of owning a Jeep is how easy it is to also fix. Now, if you break down in the middle of the woods, your clutch goes out, if you have a jack and you have a spare clutch, you can do it right there. It's like, it doesn't matter. If you're on a dirt road or something, just pull out that clutch. As long as the ground is like hard enough, you can do it, okay? Like anything you want to do this. This has engine space for days so that you can do anything you really wanted to for this model. Now this thing does also come with an optional back seat. Most of the time, most people just take it out and put their spare back there because they don't like having their spare on the back for reasons of viewing your surroundings. And also, you know, it's just adds some weight reduction for when you're doing some massive off-roading stuff. Jeep was a company that was started in World War II by Willys Overland. Most people don't know that the first Jeeps were actually made by Ford, but Willys Overland was rewarded the contract because of their 4-cylinder model, whilst Ford had a 6-cylinder model which was too heavy to drop behind enemy lines for paratroopers, which is why Willys Overland was rewarded the contract, and the 7-slotted grille became an iconic part of the Jeep Wrangler. After World War II, Jeep was pretty much owned by Willys Overland completely and not divided amongst the government, and still most of its profits were from government contracts. But Jeep had a massive problem, that it could only produce Jeeps. It couldn't produce anything else. It couldn't produce like fancy cars. It could only produce these wartime Jeeps that they produced for World War II. So pretty much they had to modify these Jeeps to do pretty much things like you would see like a Unimog did, a Mercedes Unimog or something like that. They'd put big old tree cutters on the back, generators. They'd do anything to make these manufacturing cars so that you could do pretty much anything with them. But one of the best ways they sold them was to farms and things that just wanted something they could drive around their property with. Is why they sell them to hunting camps and things like that. So pretty much that is the history of Jeep, and I hope you all enjoyed.